Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here, and today we're going to take a look at the final character in the Masters of the Universe Revelation Wave 1 in the Masterverse, and that is Faker. And he's one of the deluxe figures that was a Target exclusive, at least at first, and he is looking amazing. Got him for $19.99 through the app as a pickup order at Target, and wow, what a deal when he comes with three head sculpts and all these accessories. Just look at him. He's got that nice bookend on this side. Check that out. That artwork, really, really nice. And then he has that really awesome looking artwork also on the back with the other series, with the other characters in this line. If you want to pause and read that bio, here it is right now. So let's go ahead and break this guy out of the box, and we're going to do some comparison. We're going to look at him with some other Revelation figures as well as some classic figures. He's looking awesome. He's the Terminator style of Faker. Let's break him open and check him out. And here we are at Hordak's domain, and he and his minions are here along with Skeletor and his minions, as Triclops is in Hordak's Science Laboratory and Research Center, creating the one and only and magnificent Faker. A Faker that is supposed to be a robotic version of He-Man with his copied powers even, and strength rather. And this Revelation interpretation of this He-Man, I must say, is very impressive. And we're going to take a look now at his accessories. And taking a look at our Faker's accessories, first of all, we see that he comes with a set of hands with a tight fisted hand there, as well as an open gripping type hand, a grabbing weapon holding type hand, as we see all of them lined up here as Triclops works on this Faker unit. But also he comes with an open palm hand here and another gripping hand or weapon or sword holding hand, so he has one for the right and left. Then he also comes with his Faker sword with the orange trim and his Faker shield, which is actually the same color of orange that the real He-Man comes with in this particular line. And then he comes with two head sculpts. This angry looking He-Man head with the red eyes, and this stripped of all skin, almost Terminator style. Some have even said he looks like Destro, Chrome Dome here, with glowing red eyes, and he looks fabulous. And Faker also comes with this head that again has that Terminator reminiscence of flesh having melted off the metal, where he was a fake version of He-Man, and the flesh has just been stripped off of one side of his face, revealing his eye mechanics, his jaw. Really, really cool, nice head sculpt. Of course, he comes with the traditional He-Man harness with the H He-Man type symbol. Then he has, of course, a gauntlet like the original He-Man. But as you see, the biggest difference is on his chest and arms, as well as on his back neck area, and again back of his arms there. It's just really nice how it's sculpted in there. It's not just painted on. There is actually melting flesh off of his mechanics as Faker, and so that is really cool, all the way down into the abdomen there and his love handles. Just that flesh has been ripped off. It's just really cool detail, really, really neat. None on the legs. The legs have been saved. They are not damaged yet in this particular Faker. Now, Faker also comes with his traditional style harness, kind of like Skeletor's, except in orange. You know, Skeletor's is that purple lavender color, but it has the skull crossbone type logo there in the middle, the bones crossed that are the latch for the harness coming around, and then these tassels that come off the shoulders with that almost Hordak looking bat type insignia around the edge on Fakers. But it's all orange, and it has some sheen to it and some texturing, almost leather like, on those flaps on the side. So really well done, as also the texturing on in there with those little rivets inside there. So really cool. So you can of course take that harness off and put on this harness, and so that is really cool. And so we will look at him with his accessories installed right now. So here is our Faker with his traditional type harness on his chest plate. As you see, the Classics one here, it's not quite as detailed or as refined or as large or as shaded, obviously, as the Classics, but it's easily installed. You just pop off his head, and then you're gonna unlatch these, and then once you get it around him, you're just going to stretch these upwards until the hole goes over that peg, which it is a little tight, but it's snug there. That'll work good to keep it on. And there he is, next to another Faker that has that particular type harness on, so you give it an idea there. Looking cool, looking very intimidating and menacing. Really neat. Look toward the camera, guys. There you go. Looking cool. Love that shiny. I mean, I know, you know, yeah, they could have done the blue, but this is more of a realism. They didn't go the route like Filmation completely, where it just was basically He-Man with glowing eyes. This way, they kind of did that where he actually looks like He-Man, but you know, in his battle, you know, skin gets ripped off, and it's obvious that he's not really He-Man. He's actually a mechanical He-Man. So really cool. I think I like the blue one, of course, as well, traditionally from other incarnations of Faker, but I certainly like this idea of this Faker here. Alright, let's look at him equipped with another head and his sword and shield. Interesting to note here, as I was installing the shield with that open hand here and getting ready to pop on the sword wielding hand with his sword, if you take off this little gauntlet, there is even skin ripping off underneath there. That's really cool, you know, attention to detail, I believe, for this He-Man Faker. And let's go ahead and pop this hand on here, and you see him with his sword. There we go. And I don't have this Faker's shield, but I do have his sword, and you see what a difference the swords are. This is, of course, your traditional Classics type sword, but in orange, with the hilt just a little darker than the blade, whereas with the new Faker sword, you have a orange hilt with an actual silver blade. Still has the brown wrapping on the handle, so it basically looks like the original He-Man sword here. Go ahead and show it to you. From the original, I should say the Revelation He-Man, it's just, instead of having the gray hilt with a gray butt on the end there, it has all of that in orange, and then the silver blade. So really cool that they use that realism there. So you have that option. Awesome. And here he is with his head before it's ripped off with the skin. And the only difference between this head and really a He-Man head is he has slightly red eyes, but you could actually use this head with your He-Man. So I'll show you that here in just a moment when we get to comparisons. But that is really cool. I like this He-Man head. But this is his face, of course, Faker's face before his flesh is ripped off or burned off or whatever the case may be there. Really cool. And then here's Faker with his final head sculpt, that third option, which is him with all of his hair and flesh melted off that head sculpt. So this is him truly in his battle damaged persona and image. But so cool looking for an action figure. Just neat in and of itself, regardless of what your favorite incarnation of Faker may be. This one certainly has to measure up as an awesome action figure in his own right. Just really cool. Just really cool. Much better, I have to say, than this incarnation of a Faker head. I mean, come on now, right? Now let's take a look at Faker's Articulation. And taking a look at our Faker's Articulation, I went ahead and put my favorite head sculpt on him. And this particular one, I believe, shows off his abilities the best. And he's able to look up a good amount there. He's able to look down all the way, really nice there. He's able to get a little bit of pivot action going on, of course, side to side. I like the way his hair is kind of whooshed upwards away from his face a little bit on that side. That's cool. All right, going to his arms here. He's able to get better than about 90 degrees and a little better. Of course, he can go all the way 360, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and of course this little gauntlet strap that's so thick kind of gets in the way of that. He has hinges and swivel at the wrist. He also has the ability to take that gauntlet off as well if you want to. And of course you can switch out that hand. Alright, same on this side, and unfortunately all the wrists are in one direction. We don't have any vertical wrists, which would have been nice again for the sword. He's going to be able to crunch forward that much. He's going to be able to bend back not very much at all. He does have swivel at the waist, which is nice. And then looking at these legs, let's go ahead and move those arms out of the way, and he can do full splits, and they have that little ratcheted type feel to that. He's also able to swivel at the thigh, swivel at the boot. He also has the ability to go all the way down with those toes, almost all the way up, or a good amount up. It's not, there you go, goes up further than what I was doing. And then he also has excellent rockers, and as you see, he has a peg hole in the back as well, in the bottom of his heel there as well, I should say. So really nice articulation in all the areas that you would expect with this particular figure. And he has double jointed knees. Just take a look at that range. That is excellent there, and it looks pretty decent too. So he's going to be able to kick up a good amount. Really nice there, kicking up ability there. He's able to not go back much there on that end, but I mean, just overall great articulation. I would say upgraded from the classics. Certainly 100% better than 2000X and Vintage, and even better than Origins. Even though Origins do have pretty good articulation, this guy wins out among all of them. And I personally like the way these characters look. Regardless of what you feel about the movie, these action figures are top notch, and they have excited me about MOTU again. I love the classics figures. I guess they'll always be the standard, but these guys are great. I mean, look, pinless on the joints, on the legs and arms. Just, you know, great. They could do a little bit better with the shading, like in the belt area and things like that, which I have done on my He-Man here. Was able to do a little bit of customizing paint on his gauntlet and belt area there right above the loincloth, and even that small little gauntlet, painting it a little bit different of a shade. But since we've got that one pulled out here, let me go ahead and show you him with this He-Man head that came with Faker. Only difference really is he has somewhat of red eyes, but look how good that looks. Let me put them side by side and give you an idea here of just how good that head looks on our He-Man action figure. Wow! I mean, that looks so much better to me than the regular standard He-Man head. I'll just bring them in here so you can see what I mean. You can see there is the original He-Man head that came with the MOTU Revelation figure, and here's the one that came with the Faker figure. And I have ordered one of those that the Jose Hordak guy customizer has made, and I'm hoping they will come in at some point. And I'm excited to show you those. Some of you got those at the PowerCon. He was there selling those heads, and it looks dynamic. Here's a picture of one right there. And man, I think that one is even upgraded above any of these. But look, there's shading in the Faker head hair better than in the original He-Man. He has some shading, the original one, but this hair is even better, I think. Just has that cool look. And I like this head okay, but I like this one better. And I think I will use that one on my He-Man until the other one comes anyway, and see which one I like. And I'll show those off when I get those in as well on these action figures. And now let's do some comparison time. And here is our Faker next to the He-Man that I placed the new Faker head on. Look how good he looks. I mean, I think that looks great there. And then along with the standard look that he came with. And so there they are together, looking amazing. And then here's our Faker next to our original MOTU Classics Mattel Faker with the sword. And then here is our Super 7 Classics Faker with the battle axe, and I did use a Mythic Legions and then painted it shield there to give him some extra flair. And that's with the vintage Faker head, or makes it look like the vintage He-Man and Faker head there on him. So there you have a comparison there. And then of course the one with the battle damage on that version, it's on the right side of his face, whereas on this version it's on the left side of his face. So there's a little difference as far as which side. And the classics of course did show quite a bit more, again, detail of the ripped off face on that Faker compared to this Faker, but I still love that head sculpt. I think that's so awesome. So there's comparison there. And there he is with the Filmation Faker and the Filmation Skeletor. And here is our Faker beside our Revelation Skeletor and our Revelation Evil Lyn, looking fabulous next to these guys, of course. I'm looking forward to getting my Triclops and the other wave of Revelation figures. Man, that'll be awesome to actually have that Triclops, because in my universe, Triclops is the one that basically made Faker, as he Skeletor ordered him to do so, of course. And that's going to be cool. And here's our Faker next to God Skeletor and Scareglow. And they're looking great together as well. And to do a few random comparisons, here is our Faker next to She-Hulk, looking awesome with a Marvel Legends, pretty much a taller Marvel Legends character, but look how good they match up as far as their size and build. I think Mattel really was trying and is trying to give, you know, Marvel a run for their money as far as the quality. Hasbro and you know, Mattel here competing. And then of course there is Final Battle Jiren, which I call in my MOTU universe King Ultron, with his might turning into King Ultron the Mighty. But I think these look cool together. And last but not least, here is our Faker next to our MOTU Classics He-Man with vintage head, and with the Axe Battler with a little bit of extra gear here, because someone had asked me a while back, does that harness from Revelation He-Man fit on the Axe Battler? And now that I've got an extra one to mess around with that came with this Faker, I will tell you that it looks pretty decent from the front, but unfortunately it will not buckle. He's just too big and thick for those buckles to actually stretch and get into place. But you could, you know, if you were customizing, you could certainly make it work based on how he looks with it on. I think looks pretty good. You decide. But there they are. Awesome. Please like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Give us a thumbs up. Let that YouTube algorithm help us get the word out about Super Dave reviews. And come back and see us next time when we redo some more reviews. Looking for some more Revelation figures and some more Thundercats coming soon. Now enjoy some photos in the photo gallery.